Hello, wonderful people of the internet. Today we will be evaluating different types of bedding for rats based on these qualities: absorption, dust level, safeness, and cost. Please don't mind how I pronounce absorption. English is not my first language. I have no clue how to pronounce that. Anyways, no chit-chatting today. Let's just get straight to the point. Starting with the bedding that I use and prefer, Boxo bedding. It is essentially recycled boxes made into small animal bedding. It's pretty absorbent, as it is paper chips, which are absorbent, so I would give it a 10 out of 10 on that. And it's not the most dusty bedding out there, but it does hold a little bit of dust, so I would rate it an 8 out of 10 dust-wise. This bedding is, of course, 10 out of 10 safe for they can chew on it and pee on it and sleep on it and nothing will happen to them. It's not the cheapest option out there, but it's one of the best cheap ones. A big bag of Boxo bedding usually goes for around $30 to $40, and that can last you 2 to 3 months, sometimes 4. So I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Kaytee paper bedding. This bedding is essentially made out of small bits of paper. It is an extremely popular choice amongst rat owners. It is a pretty absorbent bedding choice, so if your rats like to pee everywhere, then it's a good option. 10 out of 10. Dust-wise, it's the same thing as Boxo. It holds a little bit of dust, but you know, it's all good. 8 out of 10. Now, is this bedding safe? I personally would use it with caution. Not because it's dangerous if they chew on it, but because I couldn't help but notice and read some Amazon reviews that people have purchased it and noticed that there was a cancer and reproductive harm warning label on the bedding bag. And whether that's true or not, it is quite concerning, and I wouldn't have any peace of mind if my rats were on that bedding. So I would give it a 4 out of 10. Cost. It is a pretty cheap option, especially because it expands a lot. And the prices are ranging $20 to $30 for a bag that can last you like 1 to 2 months. 8 out of 10. Fleece. Fleece is also a quite popular choice when it comes to rat bedding options. But is it really the best choice for them? Well, let's find out. First off, absorption. It may surprise you to learn that fleece is actually hydrophobic, which means it doesn't like water and it won't absorb water. The water will just stay on top. This means it won't absorb pee either. But don't worry, there is a quick fix to this. Fleece, after being washed 2 to 5 times, loses its hydrophobic, I don't know how to pronounce that, properties, and absorbs water/pee. So overall, it is a pretty good option. 9 out of 10. Dust level. Obviously, fleece is fabric, and fabric doesn't produce dust at all. So if your rat's lungs are like especially sensitive, fleece might be the right bedding for you and your little furry potatoes. 10 out of 10. Safeness. Fleece is pretty safe as long as it's a no-pill fleece. Emphasis on the no-pill. 10 out of 10. Cost. Fleece wins the medal when it comes to cost. It is the cheapest bedding. Why? Well, because even though the upfront cost of the bedding is relatively expensive, as long as they don't chew up their fleece liners too much, it can last forever. 10 out of 10. Scented litter. Scented litter is just any brand of rat bedding, but the litter has been perfumed, often with lavender. Most people will already know my opinion on this one, but I will still make a section for this one because absorption. Depending on the texture of the bedding, it may or may not be absorbent. If it is little flakes of paper, then it will be absorbent. But if it's like little corn pieces, then it won't be very absorbent. So pretty much it's a 50-50 chance with the types out there, so I'll just give it a 5 out of 10 for the benefit of the doubt. Dust level. In most scented litters, there isn't all that much dust, but like any loose bedding, there will be at least a little bit of dustiness created by the bedding, so we will give scented litter a 7.5 out of 10. Safeness. Here comes the but. This type of bedding is not safe for any animal, ever. Why, you may ask? Well, that's because it has a smell to it, and any type of strong artificial odor that rats are close to 24/7 will most likely result in constant, and I mean constant, respiratory infections and even pneumonia. As rats have tiny little fragile lungs and those harsh smells and chemicals will irritate them. So please, don't buy scented litter. Keep your pets safe. 0 out of 10. Cost. Scented litter is actually pretty expensive because of the fumes added to them. Prices ranging from $25 to $40 for a tiny bag. So, not only is it not safe for your fur babies, it's expensive. Even though it will make your rats smell less bad, don't get it. And also, if you're not comfortable with the fact that rats do have a smell to them, you probably shouldn't get rats. 6 out of 10. Aspen wood shavings. Now, as you all may know, most wood shavings are pretty toxic and harmful to rats, but this specific kind, Aspen, is actually harmless, and it's a good option. Absorption. Aspen wood shavings tend to be less absorbent than paper bedding, but it still does the trick. You might have to put a slightly thicker layer of bedding so that the pee actually seeps into the wood shavings and not onto your cage band, but they are still a super absorbent option. I would give an Aspen an 8 out of 10 when it comes to absorption. Dust level. Now, I won't hide it, Aspen bedding does tend to get pretty dusty. At least that's what I've heard. Wood easily gets into tiny pieces, which makes dust, which is harmful to rats, but not all bags are the same. People that use Aspen tend to say that most bags aren't that dusty, but you can get unlucky and get a really dusty bag. So keeping that information in mind, I would give this type of litter a 7.5 out of 10. Safeness. There has been a debate in the past whether this bedding is safe or not, but the pet community and the vets and everyone has concluded that Aspen, it's 100% safe for your little critters to dig and sleep in and chew on. 10 out of 10. Cost. Cost-wise, Aspen wood chips is pretty much 50-50. Some places will sell them super cheap, but others will sell them for loads of money. So it's up to you to find the website/store and company that makes them and sells them for the least amount of money. So I would give Aspen an 8 out of 10 on cost.